to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. So we had our UK South Fountain Pen Club meetup for April 2019, and here are some of the pens that I brought along with me to the Fountain Pen Club meetup. So some Arcos, some Visconti, some Leonardos, and here you can see just a few of the pens that I was showing and allowing people to try. This is the Armando Simone Club, and this is the Bologna Extra Arco Verde in the gold trim, and this is a really nice pen. Now this is one of my 4 Arco Verdes that I have never inked up. There are 2 of the Arco Verdes I have never inked up. So this one with the gold trim, never been inked before. It's a really lovely pen with an 18 karat gold magic flex nib on it. And then you'll see here as well, we have another Armando Simone Club Bologna Extra Arco Verde, but this is in the rhodium trim. And this, I actually, although I like the gold trim more, I really do think that the rhodium trim accentuates that lovely Arco Verde kind of silver finish that Arco Verde has. So I do think that rhodium trim and the rhodium coloured nib there actually probably pairs a little bit better than the gold trim, even though I normally do prefer gold trims on pens and gold nibs more than the rhodium ones. We can see here that these Arco Verdes are really, really lovely pens. And then I had my, again, Armando Simone Club Bologna Extra Arco, and this is in the brown or bronze, depending on which you call it. I think most people tend to call this the brown, and this comes in a rose gold trim and a rose gold coloured nib, and this is currently inked up, and this is inked up with Akamon SBRE brown, which tends to be one of the inks that I put in a lot of my Arco brown pens, because it's just an ink that in terms of colour I think matches that sort of midpoint tone of the Arco brown there. And then there were some other Arcos I had there. Here's one of the Jinhua, and this had a sort of like a dragon on the clip, and this is the Jinhua 1200. And I have seen this pen online before, I've not seen it in person, and although I tend to think that these sort of Jinhua pens are a little bit sort of over the top bling wise, this actually was a really well built pen, and the pen actually felt quite quality wise. So this was a pen that I did actually like the look of. So it does come with a standard Jinhua 18 karat gold plated nib, but it was actually not a bad writer as a Jinhua would be. But the pen itself actually did seem to be quite nice in the hand, as you can see there. And it is a push clip, as you can see, push to clip there, but it's a Jinhua 1200. Gary also brought along, I think, which was a new acquisition, and this was the Pokemon edition of the Lamy. And this, I believe, was only available in Japan. You couldn't buy it outside of Japan, but you have the Pikachu there, and the ball, and then another Pikachu, and then this yellow Lamy with a red clip, and also a pen case. And you can see here, it is just a regular Lamy, and you can see the nib here. It's a Lamy extra fine nib. But it was actually an interesting pen. I have, again, seen these online. I've not seen them in person, so it was actually really nice to be able to look at one of these up close and see what it looked like. And then you can see here with the Pikachu on the clip. So this was the first Pikachu that would clip on. And these are just sort of like a rubbery sort of like attachment that just clips onto the clip, and then you can see the other Pikachu there if you want that on there. Now, personally, these are not pens that I would normally go for in my collection, but these are fun pens, and they're pens that really are aimed at either kids or maybe serious Pokemon collectors. But I thought this was quite fun. I've not had so much fun since the Rocker incident at the UK South Pen Club, which was I think almost a year ago, actually, getting on to about a year ago. So this is actually quite interesting, the pen holder there for the Lamy. And then Gary also brought along this Anoto, and it's the Burgundy Pearl with Chasing. And this really is a lovely pen, and I think that this is one of the types of Anoto pens that really does appeal to me, and that I've been looking at the Anoto stands at the various pen shows in the UK. Now, there is a bit of a blank area there, and that is if you want the pen engraved with your own name or initials or a message. And this comes with an 18 karat gold, and it's a number 7 size nib, and this was a fine nib. But you can see that's not a bad nib there, and it actually wrote really nice, and I do like how these Anotos write. The size of my hand, it actually feels quite nice. I do find though that some of these Anotos, because they are cartridge converters and these are effectively acrylic or resin, that the barrels are, or the bodies are, a little bit on the light side. So I think if I were to get one of these, I would probably go with the addition of the insert, which adds around another, I think, 30 to 32 grams to the weight of the body. This is one of the Franklin Christoph, and this is the model 31, and it was the PIF, or Pay It Forward, Kickstarter pen. And this really is a lovely material that Franklin Christoph was able to acquire from, I believe it was Jonathan Brooks, and this really is a lovely material. Now, every pen is different. Some of the reds actually extend up onto the body on some pens, as I understand it. Comes with a Franklin Christoph Yovo nib there, but again, this pen was really nice. It's a fine nib. I'm not really into fine nibs, but it seemed to be quite smooth, and it's a Yovo nib. I do like Yovo nibs, so for me, that actually was quite nice. But that material is absolutely stunning. I'd love to have another pen in that kind of material, because that really is nice. And as you can see there, it fits the size of my hand really nicely. And then there was this pen, and this is a John Twist pen, and this is made of burl wood, and the polishing of the burl wood actually sort of takes away the beauty of the burl wood a little bit, but I really do like burl wood and how it looks, and this really is a nice looking pen. So this is a Yovo nib. It's a medium nib, but it's a John Twist nib, or Twist Pens nib. So this is a custom pen. I'm not so sure that I like the very chunky but rounded ending on the pen on this particular pen, but it actually felt nice in my hand, and it was a decent size. And then there was also this Opus 88 Omar, and this was in the purple, and this is a really lovely colour. I think if I went for an Opus 88 Omar, I did a review recently of the brown version, I think I'd really go for this purple version, because it is a lovely pen. Now, this did come with, I believe, a fine nib, and Gary had it swapped out for a stub nib, which is very different for Gary, because Gary doesn't normally go for stub nibs. That, again, was a really nice pen. I do love these Opus 88s. I do love the Omars, and I can definitely see myself maybe picking one of those up. And then Jackie brought her Tatra Autumn brushes, and this is a lovely pen. So it has this lovely autumn sort of honeycomb effect going on there, along with little sort of strips of Warden in the body, as you can see there. But it's a lovely pen. And Tatra are using rebranded Sailor nibs. So these nibs are made by Sailor, and this is a stub nib there. It's a music stub, and you can see there that is a very, very wide nib. But again, like, these touches really do feel nice in my hand. They are cartridge converter pens, and they aren't cheap. They are expensive pens, and as you can see there, it has a spring part in the clip, so you can't screw the pen on. You have to push it in and then screw. But you can see those Warden strips are lovely. There was this Mont Blanc, and this is the Bohème Pirouette Lilas, and this is a lovely pen. It's a really small, short pen, and I've seen this before, and I wanted to have another play with this. I'm not into short pens, but as you can see there is no nib, but it's a retractable nib, so you twist the blind cap there, and then the nib comes out. So it's a retractable nib. Ta-da! And it really is actually a nice sort of mechanism. It's very smooth. I'm not into small Mont Blanc, and that is small, and it has a small nib. But I thought it was an interesting pen. And then you can see here, you can screw the cap on, it's threaded, and that actually makes it into a full-size pen. You do have to be careful though that when you unscrew that, it does retract the nib, but that I believe is actually a feature of the pen, so actually I guess it kind of makes it sense. I also got to play around with a Pelican M400 in the tortoiseshell from Jackie, and this was a lovely pen. It's always been a pen that's been on my radar. I find the M400s too small in my hands personally, but this is a lovely material that I've always liked the look of. And you can see there, that's a 14 karat gold medium nib. But it is a lovely, lovely pen. But again, it's just a little on the small size there for me. Now you can post these caps, and that material really is stunning there. I do like that. This is the Cosmos ink pen, and this is a magnetic fountain pen. Really nice, and it's actually from Stillform Design in Germany. And it's an aluminium pen, and you can choose the colour and the nib size. And this was a Kickstarter pen, and this actually is quite a nice pen. Like, it has a really, really strong magnetic clasp on a cap. It literally just snaps in. It's the strongest magnet I've ever had on a clip. And then Gary also brought along this Tatra, and this is a Covenant pen. And I know a number of people at our pen club have these Tatras, and these were on sale at the London Pen Show in October last year. I think some also in March this year. And this was it's an interesting pen. I kind of like the pattern on that. It's a steel nib, but I'm not a fan of how long that cap is. And I know it's designed to be very long, and you can post it, and it posts deeply, but look at the length of that cap. That is humongous. So that's it. That was our UK South Fountain Pen Club, April 2019. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye bye.